Welcome home, family and fellow citizens of the African Order. I'm here with another video, and the topic of this discussion is the 5 reasons why the coronavirus vaccine will fail. But before I get into this video, let me say this. Can you name a social, political, economic, judicial plan whites have either led or had any influence over that has worked out like they had advertised? You'd be hard pressed to do so. Experts can convene and come up with solutions. Then, per usual, someone white will come in and pull down the process to their level of understanding. Remember when Donald Trump interrupted the COVID scientists to suggest using bleach? You want to prove to everyone that you're the smartest one in the room. You put something good in front of whites, and they will follow it with something stupid. After years of blacks being enslaved and freed and persecuted and legally discriminated against, they rallied protesting and saying, black power, Whites, they want to come back with white power. Blacks is black is beautiful. You go white. White is beautiful. Black lives matter. Whites, all lives matter. Or blue lives matter. They can never lead anything. They always got to follow up behind somebody. And then when they do lead or participate, they always pull down the goal, and nothing is ever achieved or no goals are reached. White stupidity is going to corrupt anything pure. This constant will directly keep the coronavirus from working. But let me be clear. Let's say the vaccine was 100% safe and everyone was waiting for it. It's been tested. It's 100% safe. Everybody trusted the government and all that, which we know is 100% not the case, but just for example purposes, we're going to use the scenario. It would be a logistical nightmare to have their goals reached. They said they wanted, in a short period of time, they wanted to have 20 million people vaccinated. They reached 2 million. Why? Because one of the 5 reasons, here are the 5 reasons why it's going to fail. Number 1, Pfizer's vaccine has to be kept at a minus 94 degree temperature. And it can only be thawed 3 hours before it's being injected. So just the process of transporting this, thawing it out, having everybody who's supposed to receive the vaccine in line get injected within that 3-hour window would be a miracle in itself. Number 2, with the hospitals already full and overworked, where will they find the nurses, doctors, or whatever to inject 20 million people and still treat the patients suffering from COVID? You can't just pull people off the street and hire them to inject these vaccines. How are they going to do that? They have no plan to do that. None whatsoever. Third, they are already undermining the science behind the vaccine. Pfizer's vaccine requires an injection, a 2-week waiting period, and then you get your second injection. But here we go again. Per usual, somebody white shows up, and now they want to inject all the people first, and then come back with the second injection, which is going to take 12 weeks. Pfizer come out and said that, first of all, this goes against the trust of the patients. They took the first shot fully thinking that they were going to receive their second shot 2 weeks from now. And besides that, they've done 0 tests on these vaccines being taken 12 weeks apart. So if you do what the non-experts say, who's to say that the remnants of the first vaccine will even be around to couple with the vaccine 12 weeks from now? But this is what they always done. 4, they have taken so long in trying to get rid of this coronavirus pandemic that it is now mutated into a more lethal second strain. And now these idiots are sitting up here hoping that the vaccine from the first strain of COVID will work on the second. And so technically, it has already failed. You haven't even dealt with the first wave of this COVID vaccine before the second one has showed up. So, but I'm still giving you number 5 just for, keeping consistent with the topic of this video. Whites thirst for money and power. While they spent months downplaying and misinforming people about the coronavirus, manufacturers have been making millions, if not billions, selling masks, thermometers, whatever, to deal with this COVID. And now they got apps to track to see if you've received the vaccine and then deny you if you haven't, or deny you access to services if you haven't. So the reason this nonsense goes on is because our current black leaders refuse to learn from history. Their greed is always going to undermine our social, economic, judicial, political efforts. When are we going to become gluttons when it comes to our needs and determine our own way? Feeding off the remnants of our enemies have resulted in us progressing from slaves to being servants. History is a great teacher if you listen to it. Let us take ownership and control over our needs and go from slaves to servants and back to the gods we were intended to be. I'm going to end this video here. And if you like this message, please share it, subscribe to the channel. And with this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I will see you in my next message. Ashe.